Hi everybody, welcome to my first ever unboxing a tarot on Boxers Day in my boxers. Do this, then let's just run through them and I'll supply my notes as necessary. First we have the Fool. Beautiful card. Then we have the Magician. And the Magician harkens to the image from the Universal horror movies, The Mad Doctor. I think he even looks a little bit like the actor Colin Clive. It's quite interesting. Definitely captured that image there. And then we have, for the High Priestess, we have Medusa, which is stunning and beautiful. And then for the Empress, we have a female vampire, literally the embodiment of seduction, sultriness. Therefore, the Emperor would only be Dracula himself, or as they call him also in the essay they give, the King of Halloween. And this is kind of interesting for me too, because I've always been a big Dracula fan, and this actually made me remember the one time I probably won a best costume, and I had one of those Ben Cooper Dracula costumes. This is circa 65, so I'm about 10 years old. And in my neighborhood, I won the best costume, or the best spookiest costume, for my Dracula costume. Thus began a lifetime of that. And then we're moving on, and this is a cool one, the Hierophant. And in the book it says it's kind of like the male, of course, archetype to the High Priestess, so therefore she was a Medusa. This is Cthulhu. Quite interesting. The Lovers with a typical Grim Reaper type there instead. And I think it would be good to point out too that the booklet, besides being about essays, also really does talk about the symbology that's present in most of the cards. And it doesn't really twist it into, you know, its own version of a dark sensibility. It really talks, like, for example, about, you know, the flames in the Lover's card is denoting, you know, the zodiac signs, things like that. So there's a lot of actual good takes on the symbology, but it is sort of filtered through this idea of darkness. So, you know, some people will really like that. So then we're moving on to the Chariot, and they're using imagery from the Mummy, of a mummy type character. Very nice. Cerberus for strength. And also note too, and they give her full credit, is Persephone, who is more or less Cerberus' mistress. So I think that's kind of cool. And they explain that, the symbology, tying all that together from their point of view. Then we have a very cool one, the Hermit. And this is just an aside to Peter, who asked who the Hermit was on Facebook. And I said, I think I said it was Charon. They don't really call him Charon in the book. They more or less refer to him as being on the river and the hooded one and all that. But clearly, in my mind, he's Charon, the boatman on the river Styx. The Wheel of Fortune, which is very nice. Lots of Egyptian and Gothic art, cathedrals kind of sensibilities and references there. I personally like the Wheel of Fortune for a lot of reasons. Justice. Apparently, it's the Grim Reaper. It is death. Who knew? This one's kind of cute. The Hanged Man is a twisted marionette hanging upside down. It doesn't look like Chucky or any of the more Hollywood conventional type marionettes or puppets, dolls, that kind of thing. But I think, you know, the Hanged One, their interpretation was pretty interesting, how they put that together. Then, of course, is Death. And in this deck, Death is the Headless Horseman. So it's kind of interesting, too, I think. I like that a lot. And Temperance is a statue and fountain of a weeping angel type as Temperance. They don't call it the Weeping Angel, but of course, Weeping Angels predate Doctor Who. I'm mostly, and I'm sure some people are familiar with the concept of a weeping angel, but they're really present in most of our Gothic type architecture and statuary for hundreds of years. The devil, which of course is Baphomet. They call him Baphomet. And clearly it's kind of different from the Lovers, you know, where there's the similar couple, only that is sort of like a more skeletal kind of demon and actual death. And this is the devil, Baphomet. And I liked what they said about that too. Then we're moving on. We have the Chariot and, or I'm sorry, not the Chariot, the Tower. And the Tower is like some sort of wooden tree construct with a lot of skulls inside of it. I know this is going to either various horror themes, but I like it. The idea is pretty implicit there. This was a cool one, and I think Peter asked about this one too. The Star. And I like her. I think they just called her mermaid. I don't think she was a particular mermaid. I half imagine that she had sharp teeth, but I guess I can't really see that from here. But you know, that's hope. It sort of bites sometimes. Oops. And the moon is, of course, a werewolf. So the ideas of transformation and hidden things. It's also interesting to note, I don't know if I can get the glare off of that the moon's face looks kind of jack-o'-lantern-like, or even, you know, the Jack skeleton character from Nightmare Before Christmas. It is a beautiful deck. Now, this one is personally pretty interesting to me, of course, and to maybe some other people I know. But it's the sun. And in the accompanying book, it says the sun is a witch's altar. So it's sort of about the idea about... you know, the light being the metaphor for the will, the directed energy, you know, kind of thing. They mentioned the poppets there and stuff like that. It's an interesting take on it. Kind of applies to some of us. And then another, they call this the Dark Necromancer in the Sky, but it's Judgment. And of course, it is a witch type figure too, and it's pretty ghastly there, all that zombie stuff going on down there. And then finally, and this was a pretty cool way to end because it sort of represents in a way the epitome of the tarot on some levels, the world, and the imagery is a classical literature one. It's Jekyll and Hyde, and you can see like the more Dr. Jekyll type character sort of putting his foot into this parallel world, and then the Hyde character on the other side. And so, of course, it's talking about duality and binariness and the dual nature of humans, you know, the evil side, the good side. And those are things that maybe are interesting in the world's view there, but I don't think that it's the totality of that. So I'll have to read more about that and see what that actually is. But so that was my unboxing here for that. And that's the Ghoulish Garb's Terror Tarot. And apparently you can get it on eBay. I'm not sure where Banshee got it for me. It is a nice little package though. And I'm already thinking about ways I can either come up and construct new readings, like maybe around Halloween time. Like I'm thinking like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to work with this one and the Halloween Tarot and the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot and maybe a couple of other ones that have some of this. Like I have a Gothic Tarot and I have a Vampire Tarot, and I could make a multi-card reading. I'm getting into that because some of the readers that I watch, you guys know who you are, you're great readers out there, work with multiple decks in their readings, and we've been doing that a little bit more too. So I'm fascinated with the ideas of what I could do with a deck like this. Certainly to also personally meditate and possibly do other kinds of workings with these cards. The images really are appealing, and what it says in the book is definitely worthwhile. So this is a serious tarot, even though it's just the Major Arcana. I could see it being used any number of ways. Thanks for watching my unboxing on Boxer Day in Boxers. This is Oberon saying, have a great day, everyone.